Okay, so today I'm going to do something a little bit different. I'm going to talk about some of the production techniques in film. I probably will make a lot of videos like this, just a couple of them. Mostly I'm making this one on the Clapperboard, and the reason is because my friend Karen, she's going to be working on a production with me this weekend, and she told me that she needed to learn how to use a Clapperboard because no one's ever taught her to use one. So I figured, you know, why don't I just make a video of this, and that'll be a little easier. So here I have my Clapperboard, which I know it looks kind of ghetto, and the reason it looks ghetto is because it was made in the ghetto. I mean, I don't really have the right tools for the job, so things are just sort of put together. This is all up here, looks all, you know, funky because I didn't wait long enough when I started masking it, so it got all fucked up. But you know, it doesn't even matter what it looks like. It just matters that it has the correct information and does its job. So first we have the clapper here. And the reason it's called a clapper is because, you know, it claps, makes a very loud noise. That's very detectable. What is this for? Right now, like most people, like you watching this at home, you probably don't really need this for your board because you have audio tracked. Audio is in sync with your camera already using a modern video camera. But when you shoot on film, you don't have the audio track on there. Because if you had the audio track on it with an actual film camera, the motor would be so loud you'd be picking up the noise of your motor, and your audio track would be garbage. So the audio is recorded separately on a different system, and because the audio system doesn't have any visual cues, you can't really see when the action starts. So the clapper creates a very distinct pike in the sound, and that is used by the editor. When these bars perfectly line up on the video, that's when he knows that the sound was made. When this is when this is aligned and the spike in the audio, that's when he knows that the audio has started recording. And from that point on, everything should be in sync, ideally. And there are times when for technical reasons, you can't clap or you can't slate at the start of a shot. So what they do is they flip it upside down, and then they clap at the end of this shot. And basically what the director will say, will give us a vocal signal. What is the vocal signal? I can't remember what it is. Basically the director will say something at the start that the audio track will pick up, that end slate I think is what he shouts out. So at the very end of the shot, you clap. And that allows and because it's upside down, the editor knows that that was the previous shot is the audio that was recorded. And some of the information that's on here. Get a little closer for this. This is the production. It says what production you have. Filter and frames per second. This is how I make mine. Most people don't combine them like this, but this one's specifically made for the way I shoot things. The filter and the frames per second. The filter is important to know if you had additional filter on there, so that you can try to make your shots when you go for coloring. And the frame per second is needed if you're also not recording on your camera, because the frames per second indicates the speed of the video, and you need to sync that up with your audio. It has the audio track and the video track have to have the same speed, basically, not the same frames per second. Kilohertz is what audio uses. Scene here, which is the number of the scene, and the take. The take is the shot, basically. So you might have like scene 1 where you're like in a restaurant, but you'll have like 3 different times you shot it. Each shot that you did of that one scene, that's a take. And of course down here is the date and the set, which is the set location, where what it was, where you shot the stuff. Camera and format. Camera is usually like camera A or camera B if you have multiple cameras. But it's also useful to have the format, like what format you recorded it as. Because sometimes you'll have like a documentary, for example, and you won't have cameras that are all the same format, like AVC HD or HDV or whatever. And you need to know what the formats are so that when you go in editing, you don't combine different formats and start screwing up your nonlinear editor. Down here is the DIR for director, and this stuff over here is some magnets that I've attached. And what we have here is interior and exterior. It says that the take was inside or outside, day or night, if it was filmed at day or night, and sync and MOS. And sync, you know, is fairly self-explanatory. You recorded audio, and MOS, there's various urban legends about, you know, what MOS is supposed to stand for. The important thing to know is that MOS stands for that no audio was recorded for this this scene. So it has to be all the sound design has to be created in post and ADR, additional dialogue recording, and so forth. So that's how to use a slate. And hopefully I've answered whatever questions you might have about, you know, the operation of a slate.